Welcome back to Fifi's Urban Homestead and Lifestyle. This video here is showing you part 2 of how I winterize my chicken coop and indoor run for the winter months ahead. Alright, so I've already shown you in part 1 how I prepare the coop here for the chickens during the winter months. And I did put down another layer of this dry leaves here. They've been doing fine in here. They've been laying in the nest box. And so far they have only removed one of the nesting pads. You can see right in here it's all strewn all over the floor, but that's fine, it'll still make for good bedding. And in here I'm going to be doing the deep litter bedding method, and so this is going to be cleaned out in late spring. Now I like to add a nice thick layer of the leaves and grass clippings and so, and we have gathered a lot of it, and now I'm going to put another layer in here. And if you notice, this is chipped up really smaller, and I'll show you a technique where you can do this. The chickens would obviously go through it and it will be broken down, but I'll show you one of the leaf hacks you can use. See that? There's all grass clippings through there from our last cut. And I'm going to make this nice thick layer. I like to make sure it's like 8 to 12 inches. And if you can see, guys, every day I come in and I clean. I didn't clean yet today, but there's still some poop left over here from the chickens roosting right there. I got to replace this nesting pad. And let me just go around and show you what else I've done. And as you can see, the plastic is already on the indoor run, and that's to provide for adequate warmth in there, protect the chickens from the wind during the winter months. And we held these down with some just some wood and some screws here just to keep it in place. We blocked this area up here. This was a little window during the summertime and the warmer months, so we put this back in place and we close up the windows so the air don't go through at all. Now we're gonna go in here. I got the feed, I gotta refill their feed, and a couple nesting pads that I gotta replace because they kicked the nesting pads out the nesting box. Let me just grab another bag of these dry leaves and replace this nesting pad. And guys, even the door right here, we have plastic on it. So the entire bottom section of the run, let me just show it to you from indoors. Got plastic going around the entire bottom. Now it's going to be warmer in here because now we have this vertical space that we built this year. And so it's going to make for a warmer indoor space. They're at 55 in here. I'm going to replace this other nesting pad. Sorry, girl. And the girls are laying. Alright, I already cleaned down the poop that was here for the day. I'll give it a wash down in the spring. Never mind that. And all that leaf that I put in here earlier, look at it, it's all the way over here. So I'm going to just add some more of this material in here in the indoor run. And it's just leaves and grass clippings. Just kick it around just to give them something to scratch through. And sometimes I come in and I just simply throw some of their wintergreen mix in here. And they love it. They love to scratch around in that stuff. That's all chickens do. Peck around, scratch around, you know. And so I try to provide that environment for them like they would have in nature. Okay. Now over here I have these hanging feeders. that I have to refill. Let's see. We still got some feed in there. I know some people don't leave their feed out for 24 hours, but I do because it's elevated. It's off the floor. And so I'm okay with doing it this way. I'm just doing what works for me. So as I was saying, I have these hanging feeders that we're going to be removing. And we elevated this off the floor. Originally, years ago when we built the chicken coop, we had this, but it was actually sitting on the floor. But then we realized that we had a rodent issue because it was on the floor, so they had a way to get up to it. So we suspended the feeder off the floor, and we are going to see what happens this winter. But this is what we're going to be using. We're going to fill it up, clean it out, fill it up, and allow the chickens to eat from right in there. They can get to the food. It's not too high off the floor, and the rodents can't climb in it. But we're going to be monitoring it. And if you notice over in the corner there, guys, there is a space. So that makes for a little bit of ventilation in the bottom. And that's the only place at the bottom here that we have ventilation space for these chickens. But as you can see in the wood right here, we do have ventilation also. And this was deliberately done. All right. Now, for the waterer. We now have a new watering system for the chickens that hubby and I did a little DIY project. And as you can see, we have nipples attached to those PVC piping. We have a leakage there, but that's okay because it's actually hooked up to this. This is actually, let me open this space because it's housed in here where we use this for our meat birds and our baby chicks when we had them. But this is actually a 55-gallon barrel that we insulated with some insulation right here. And we also hooked up an we wrapped it and hooked up an electric cord onto it. So we have electric cord going all along, and this is a heating cord. It goes all along the piping, and it's also wrapped around the barrel. So we'll see how that goes this winter, and it's just something new that we're trying this year to see how that goes. Because guys, when it's a winter time, when you don't want the water to freeze, you just make provisions that you're able to, you know, give your chickens what they need. You know, and he did his little, he's very handy, guys. And so we do all these projects and we change things around as we see fit for how we want our operation running around here. We do have some electric waterers, and I've showed it before in a video probably last year or so. I'm going to give you a quick snippet of that if you haven't seen it. And this is what the electric waterer looks like. You just plug it in. We have an extension cord run into the chicken run, and so we normally would use this for our chickens. We've used it for years, and we've only had to replace one so far. I've used it for over 5 years, I would say. Over 5 years, because before I didn't know they had these, so I was just coming out every day and give them water. But now I want to have something longer term, even than this. Excuse me, what do you want? Go play. Go play. Go. You ran in here like something was sharing. Goodbye. As I was saying, we used this before, and then, you know, we tried for the first time this year that 55-gallon barrel. So we are going to see how that goes for this year, and then we'll work our way into, you know, thinking about longer term, which means we can probably vacation sometimes in the cooler months where we don't have to actually come in and feeding the chickens and giving them water. We just need someone to pick up the eggs and to probably scrape off the poop a little bit and see how that goes. I think it's worth a try, and I think that, you know, it'll work. But as you can see, there was some leakage from a couple of the nipples that we're watching, but I'm not worried about that because it's not soaking it's not really soaking, but it's dripping, as you can see. So maybe there's a little adjustment that needs to be done, and so far it's working. And look at them already in here pecking on the leaves and clippings that I just put in here. So for now, I'm gonna fill up these feeders. And once we get the bigger feeder cleaned, it'll then be in full operation. So this is how we are winterizing this year and preparing for the chickens. That way we can run out in the cold real quick, pick up eggs, do a quick little, flip of the bedding, because you want to turn that every day. You want to come out and turn it every day. See that? Go eat. Just to make sure they're not playing in poop. And then I'll show you guys what my chickens' winter grain mix looks like. And I do that to boost their protein intake because they need that to maintain healthy feathers, and the oils from nuts and grains to keep them warm in the winter. Now this is a winter grain mix right here, and I'll be uploading a video soon on how I go about doing that and what I use to encourage good health during the winter months when they're not able to find nuts, grains, and seeds while they're outdoors free ranging. Now the size of this metal storage bin is 31 gallons, and so this mix lasts them for a very long time, even up to and past 6 months. And I prepare this mix between October and November every year. Thank you all for coming. If you have any ideas, any suggestions, please leave it in the comment section below. If you're not yet subscribed, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up and share if you like. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time right here on Fifi's Urban Homestead and Lifestyle. Peace out, y'all. If you enjoy listening to chicken sounds, please stay tuned for another few seconds of chicken chatter and action while they enjoy their treat.